Hello everyone, I'm Giuseppe from DualShockers, and today we are going to talk about Driveclub's AI. Reviewers criticize it quite harshly, calling it abysmal, rigid, overly mechanic, abusive, and hopelessly ignorant, as it allegedly, and I quote, ignores the presence of other vehicles, including your own. It was also said that AI vehicles prefer collisions to deviations from the line, but do they? Today, we are going to run a few tests to see if the AI really ignores the presence of your car and if it really won't deviate from its ideal racing line. I placed my car at the end of a series of corners, right in the middle of the ideal exit trajectory. As you can see, the AI does avoid it, and in different directions too. Was that really the ideal racing line, or my car was simply out of the way? Let's move it a bit to the right, basically closing the door where most of the AI cars went. Now the AI avoids on the other side. They evidently deviate from their ideal racing line, which will bring them to the outer edge of the track. Here I made things more difficult. My car is in the middle of a rather tight and blind corner, and the ideal racing line passes right through it. We can easily see how the AI avoids it carefully. Some cars swerve visibly towards the outer edge, while others cut inside. Both groups steer away from their ideal racing line quite visibly. Don't get me wrong, the AI isn't perfect, but most of the times its mistakes have a logical explanation. This time around, one of the cars has a hesitation, then tries to avoid it to the inside, cutting the line of another, which has no choice but to slam into mine to avoid the first collision. Let's see it in slow motion. This time we go to India, and this is a very interesting situation. This is a 90-degree corner, which basically has only one good line. Ideally, the AI would pass right by the apex close to the stone wall under the yellow sign, then speed right through the position of my car to the outer side of the corner approximately under the second yellow sign, in order to use the whole width of the road to accelerate at the exit. Lo and behold, not one car hits mine despite its inconvenient position, and they swerve very visibly to both sides. Again, no AI is perfect, and at times they do screw up. Let's see it. It didn't work out this time. Let's try again. Now that's more like it. While most cars manage to evade successfully, a couple trade some paint lightly with mine, while a third swears to avoid the one before it, but makes a miscalculation and hits mine squarely. Now I'm going to try harder. I'm gonna literally ambush the AI. As you can see, the first car swerves visibly to avoid mine, while the second doesn't need to and keep going. Let's try again. Boy, that was close. It might be too easy on a straight. Let's try in the middle of a corner. The back brakes and avoids again. Good job. Let's just go crazy, shall we? Perfect dodge. Even harder, in the middle of a very fast series of corners, which leaves very little margin for alternate lines. There is some very slight paint trading with two cars, but the others dodge nicely. Ultimately, Driveclub's AI is not perfect. There are times in which it'll fail. I can't honestly remember a single AI of any racing game that never failed. What is obvious though is that Driveclub's computer-controlled cars do attempt and do manage to avoid the player, and do deviate from the racing line. even in situations where you wouldn't expect them to succeed. It's easy to see that those reviews that most harshly bashed the game's AI were grossly exaggerated, and maybe some actual testing would have been in order before passing judgment. Our opponents do try to aggressively defend their line, but that's something any racing driver would do. They do make mistakes, and they do trade paint and hit our car at times, but again, that's something which does happen in actual races. And an AI that does not make any mistakes is a bad AI. The reason why in actual races crashes are less frequent is because racing drivers are trained to hold predictable racing lines with confidence, so they can normally tell where the others will go in any given situation. It's part of what's called racecraft. Most gamers, unless they're extremely good, aren't trained to do that, and they will adjust their line very often. They will brake too early, and they will be excessively aggressive, causing the AI to fail in predicting their movements and to hit them. The lack of peripheral vision makes the situation worse. It's the same in every racing game, unless the AI is programmed to be a pushover. Driving more conservatively and carefully, holding your line steadily, avoiding unnecessary corrections, and learning the right braking points will inevitably result in the AI colliding with you a lot less often in any racing game. Driveclub is no exception. Despite what many unfairly say, its AI definitely tries to avoid you. It doesn't always manage, but you can do your part as well, and chances are that it will make you a better player in the long run. Happy racing!